All right, welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. The 2024 Paris Olympic Games continued on the eve of the opening ceremony. Thursday was the first day of competition for women's football, and the matches kicked off with Canada defeating New Zealand 2-1. Spain followed suit, defeating Japan by a similar margin. Germany was also victorious, beating Australia 3-0, while Brazil defeated Nigeria 1-0. Well, France, they edged a 10-woman Colombia team by 3-2, and the USA blanked Zambia 3-0. Well, the day's events continued with the opening of the women's handball preliminaries. In Group A, Denmark beat Slovenia 27-19. Korea edged Germany 23-22. Sweden overcame Norway 32-28. And then we move along to Group B, where the Netherlands, they won against Angola, that 34-31 margin there. Brazil overcame Spain, and France, they of course beat Hungary. So we're going to move along now and land, as we know, Donald Oliver, our very own Donald Oliver. He's in the City of Love, and he filed this feature from Guyana's first table tennis Olympian, Chelsea Edghill. Can't wait to see what he has in store for us.
Cello, as she's affectionately called, is back at the Olympics for the second straight time. And this means more.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's, I think, really happy to be here. You know, we realized that the last time it was a very serious time to be in, and we had to be very careful. But this time, I think it's just really amazing to see everyone's faces and being able to talk to everyone and being around everyone is like really good.
She will be carrying Guyana's flag at Friday's opening ceremony.
I was most of all surprised to hear that I was a flag bearer again, but it's just a prideful moment, and I'm truly honored that, you know, the GOA has chosen me to carry the flag. It's just, for me, it's a good feeling. I don't know how I will react when we actually get the flag at the opening, but I'll be really happy.
On Saturday, Chelsea will face Cameroon's Sarah Homfu, who is no stranger to the international circuit.
I think it's going to be a good one. I think I'll play really well. She's a really good player, really experienced, and I'm just looking forward to seeing how I fare against her, and I like my chances. So it's I think, you know, it's going to be a good match.
Sarah she's a very tough opponent. She's very active on the international circuits. I think being here is not such a big deal for her. She's tough, but we're looking forward. I think Chelsea has the tools to, you know, come out victorious.
Chelsea won our preliminary round game in Tokyo 3 years ago, and again, destiny is in her hands to advance to the main round.
All right, Donald Oliver there with that feature. Chelsea Edghill, the flag bearer for Guyana, and of course, one of their medal hopefuls.
Yeah, and she's ranked, I think, in the top 300 in the world, which from a Caribbean perspective is not bad, because the Caribbean doesn't have a tradition of having highly ranked world players. She is one of the professional players of table tennis in the region at the moment, plays her table tennis in Portugal, so that's where her main club is, and she spends a lot of time there, and pretty much the same way that the late Dexter St. Louis from Trinidad and Tobago, that outstanding left-hander, had played pretty much the entire part of his adult part of his career in France. So as her coach Luis just mentioned, she won't be intimidated by the international atmosphere that will surround her at the Olympic Games, because she plays competitively in Europe. And I'm hoping to see her do well, because she has been a standout player in regional table tennis now for a very, very long time. A very intelligent young lady, and she has really committed herself to this table tennis project as a career. and we'd like to see her rewarded with some good results this weekend.
Yeah, some exciting stuff. And, you know, we talk about the tennis, and we spent some time talking about Chelsea yesterday and just what it will mean for Guyana, you know, her advancing, doing really well. The fact that she has created history already in so many different ways. So I think it's a big deal, especially for one of the minor sports, if we're to put it that way. So I'm looking forward to see that. And, you know, we continue to talk about the Olympics, and I had a good time today. I was telling you this in the office, watching the women's football, Lance, and if you didn't watch it, you really missed out. I know you had a lot to get done today, but it was so good because the Spain's women team playing really well as well. Brazil with Marta. You know, I got the opportunity to see some of the club football players really shine and, you know, show their top-class quality, and that, for me, was my entire morning.
Yeah, well, although Brazil and Spain would have been playing today, which would have been attractions by themselves, I think the Canada-New Zealand game attracted a lot of attention because two of the Canadian officials, you may remember earlier on this week, were expelled from the tournament because they were found guilty of spying with a drone on the New Zealand camp, which is, you know, completely contrary to the spirit of the Olympic Games.
That was the head coach, actually. Bev Priestman was one of the people out of the match today.
Right. So the Canadians won the game.
Yeah, 2-1 against New Zealand.
Beating New Zealand. So they were seeing well and getting the job done. Yeah. So that game sort of caught my interest today because I was keen to see how the game would have gone. Having said that, Canada are the defending champions in the women's football. They were gold medalists in Tokyo, so they are traditionally strong, and they would have gone into that game as favourites over New Zealand. So I'm not too sure why they felt the need to spy on New Zealand, because that, you know, apart from the Morocco-Argentina men's game, which kicked off in chaos, the week hasn't been the most ideal start for the Olympic Games because of the spirit of the games, and those two stories by themselves just, you know, were on the flip side of what you want to see in the Olympic Games.
Yeah, there were so many storylines going into the competition. And I'm glad you touched on that, the spirit of the games, because I actually forgot. That's what the Olympic spirit is about, Lance. Yeah. And to just have those things as your headlines as you get ready for the Olympics, not the kind of stories the organizers would want at all. You didn't even talk about your team, though. I know you support German men football, but what about the women? Do you have any time for them?
Well, I don't see them as much as I watch the men, but I like Germany's philosophy of football. So that would run right through to the women's game as well. So I'm happy they took care of business.
Yeah.
What was the score again?
3-0.
Against?
Yeah.
Australia.
Oh my, Aussies are your team too.
No, I
so
like
he
Australia
likes
in cricket.
Australia, and he likes.
Yeah, I like Australia in cricket. But Germany beating Australia 3-0 in football, I'm good with that.
Well, you need to watch some of the matches, okay? I know you're going to be immersed in Olympic coverage.
Yes.
But just do it for me.
I will.
It's so good. All right. So we have a couple of things coming up tomorrow, events. So we'll be talking about that as well, because we're keeping a keen eye on the Olympics. Remember, if you haven't downloaded the SportsMax app just yet, what are you waiting for? You're going to be left behind. Break time.